Okay, I have finished The Way of Kings, the book 1 of the Stormlight Archive. And, let's talk about it. This was crazy. It was a ride. It took me on an adventure, and not one that I saw coming, or was expecting, or could have guessed. It was very different from, Mistborn and like the books that I've read, prior to now. And I liked it. I know along the way there were some times when I was like, so invested in Kaladin that it made me less invested in Shallan. Dalinar, day one, my dude. Big fan of Dalinar. Dalinar's my favorite character of this book. Big fan. Sanderson was wild. That war was wild. The setting is crazy. The Hoid stuff is kind of blowing my mind right now, because like as I started this Cosmere journey, I understand that there are the planets where these stories are taking place, and I understand that the planets are a small part of the Cosmere, and there's some like big picture stuff happening at the same time. So you've got like the world hoppers and stuff like that, but I still don't understand how it all ties in with like all the shards and how the shards are all together. Like what's the hierarchy of being? Like Adonalsium obviously being like the god that got split into 16 pieces. But where did the people come from that took the shards and then became those things? And Odium is killing people like other gods. Why is nobody stopping him? Can people stop him? Like, why is he so strong and the others aren't? I don't know. I am very interested in where this goes. I'm super excited for Words of Radiance, because I've mentioned this before in other videos and on some of my lives, that across the board, Words of Radiance is like everyone's favorite Cosmere book. So that makes me really excited. I'm really excited for kind of the changes that are happening in like, well, I mean, there isn't a change in leadership because Elhokar is still king. But Dalinar making moves, Dalinar talking to Adonalsium, I think. Just, where do we go? Where do we go from here, Like this felt like, a lot of people have told me that this whole book is essentially a prologue. And I understand that now, because in hindsight, it does feel like a incredibly long prologue, because it set up the characters, but it also like changed them so much from where we started to where we ended, that it was like, oh, that was just so you get like a little backstory of where we're going next. So that was nuts. Said Dalinar for sure, my favorite character. I loved everything about him. I'm very excited to see where he goes from this. Now that he doesn't have Oathbringer anymore, what's he going to do? Is he just going to find another shard blade and then he's going to take that and be like, all right, cool, we have one? But Syl said that she likes him better without it, meaning he probably doesn't need it. But oh shit, what does that mean? Anyway, Dalinar's my favorite. Loved Syl. My favorite moments from this book, for sure, Dalinar giving up his shard blade for all of the Bridgemen was very cool. I teared up a little bit. That got me. Dalinar kicking the shit out of Elhokar, just showing up and be like, boom, this is what I could do. Incredible. Kaladin's cool. I'm very glad that he kind of became the hope. The fact that Kaladin is, I'm guessing, a Knight Radiant, like dormant in himself, but it said it's because of Syl as well. So I don't know what that is. The thing about this book is it raised so many more questions than it answered, and so I'm just like, what do I do with this? That said, yeah, I love the moments with Dalinar. I love the moment with Syl fighting off the Death Spren off of Kaladin when he was recovering from the High Storm. The fact that Kaladin can just like soak up Stormlight from spheres is really cool. I like his crew. I think in hindsight, out of his crew, I think Teft is probably my favorite. I'm interested to see who stays, who goes, what the next thing's gonna be. Who are we uniting? Because the Vision told Dalinar, unite them all. But then he said, unite them all, someone has to protect them, and then say the words and return the shards and all that. So, makes me think, uniting isn't uniting the high princes or the other kings, it's uniting the shards and getting the 16 back together to make one? Maybe? I don't know. If Kaladin is now a Knight Radiant, again, assuming a lot of things here, which I shouldn't, because Dalinar assumed that they were talking to him, and that led him to trust Sadeas, and we saw how that turned out. So I'm just going to make the same mistake. Assuming that Kaladin is a Knight Radiant now, just a dormant power, does that mean there are going to be other people that are also dormant Knights Radiant? I don't know. What else can he do? They said they're going to try to see if the rest of the crew can maybe do it, and Moash seemed kind of excited about that, which worries me a little bit, because he said he's about this for vengeance, and he wants to kill somebody. So I'm like, should we teach this guy to also do this? The reveal of the Parshendi, the Parshmen, being the Voidbringers? Interesting. Yasna is a soulcaster without the thing. Shallan can also do it. Interesting. So, yeah, there's a lot of that happening. Although, one thing that I didn't mention in any of my review videos, because it's just like, once you get going, I try to bounce it and be like, and then go back. But Dalinar and the Night Watcher, and he mentioned, like, he didn't say what his boon was, and he didn't say what his curse was. But we found out that the curse is he can never even hear his wife's name. Like, he mentioned a few times that he doesn't remember what she looked like, and he doesn't remember her name. But now he can't even hear it. Like, if somebody else mentions it, he just hears, like, a wind passing. Ooh, that would suck so bad. So bad. And you have kids. You're like, I don't even remember your mom, and I can't even hear her name. Absolutely wild. Absolutely wild. I don't like Sadeas at all. He tried to leave Dalinar behind to get him killed. That dude kick rocks. Szeth. Very interesting character. I think out of the characters that I'm like most interested in, I think it's Dalinar number one, and then probably Szeth. The fact that he's like a reluctant assassin, and now we know that the King of Kharbranth is actually a monster, and he's the new master, and he told him to go kill Dalinar and make it brutal. And Dalinar doesn't have a Shardblade anymore. And Szeth has fought a shit ton of Shardblades and killed them all. Damn, I'm all worked up now. Yikes. But anyway, this was a wild ride. I did enjoy it. As of right now, I'm still, I like Mistborn a lot. This feels huge and epic, and a lot of it just like hurts my brain. It also felt like a prologue where I like got to know everybody. This is like a prologue for all the characters, because Shallan went from a girl that's just trying to rob somebody, Kaladin, like hero to a slave, but now he's like a Knight Radiant, and Shallan is like a soulcaster. So you're like, okay, all right. Dalinar, like everyone kind of came into their own at the end of this one. So I'm excited to jump into... I bought it today because I knew I was going to finish it. I'm excited to start this next. Words of Radiance is next, and I am terrified and excited, and I just want Dalinar to be okay, and I want Szeth to find freedom somehow, and that's all I care about. I'm interested to see what Kaladin becomes. Now, the fact that Kaladin is in Dalinar's army is so cool. I love that. I want to see what happens. I'm terrified for the big picture stuff with all the gods and Adonalsium and whatever the shit Hoyt is up to. And the Ghost Bloods. How do they fit it? I don't know. It was good. I liked it. I'm excited for the next one.